Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Watumishi Podcast. And when we talk about Watumishi Podcast, we talk about the home of inspirational conversations. I'm your host. You can call me Garvillo. Muziq is my name. We host these conversations, our conversations are sponsored by Sauti Gang Studios located in Karen Village along Gong Road. So in case you have any nature of content that you wish to record, you just want a space where you can be able to handle your guests and maybe have a conversation, Sauti Gang Studios already got you. So you can be able to get in touch through our social handles, Sauti Gang, across all social media platforms. You'll be able to be directed on how you're able to get to it. And under the Watumishi Podcast, also we want to inform you that we also do advertisements. And in case maybe you have an advertisement of any nature that you wish us to be able to project it on during our episodes or conversations, you can be able to get in touch with us through watumishipodcast@gmail.com. We also have a social media presence where our handles, that is the YouTube and the Instagram page, Watumishi Podcast. So get there, you'll be able to see conversations, nuggets, everything, every bit of inspiration about the different personalities that we bring on board. So today is again an amazing time. We have a guest who we are privileged to have on board on our podcast. And this is none other than, just want to give an introduction of who he is before you get to know who he is. So he's an MD of New Jerusalem. He's a songwriter, musician, music director, music arranger, pro pianist, and a Grace Collective bandit. This is none other than Steve Kimwele. Welcome to the pod.
Asante sana. Thank you for having me.
It's such a humbling moment to see you here. So we are ready to have a conversation, and maybe we just want to break down your journey since birth until the established director that you are as at now. Maybe as we start, we just wish to know, where were you born? Where did you grow? Where did you study? Those are the 3 points you want to know before even you get now into the musicality bit of how you got into the ministry bit. Yes.
Okay, thank you. As you have heard, my name is Stephen Kimwele Musimi. Musimi is my father. I got the name Stephen Kimwele Musimi. Stephen comes from my great-grandfather. Kimwele comes from my grandfather. And Musimi comes from my father. So zilifuatana tu hivyo. I am born in Nairobi. Nilizaliwa in Jamii Hospital. Inaitwa Jamaa Hospital. I was born in Jamaa Hospital in Eastlands, uko side za Jericho. I was born to my father, Anthony Nguli Kimwele Musimi, and my mother, Catherine Kimwele Musimi. Yeah, born in a musical family. I think we expose you to music from the word go. I grew up in Eastlands up to, I think, around 14 years old. Up to 14 years old, nilikuwa tu Islando. And I studied in primary school. I went to BD Primary School. Iko literally hapo Mtindwa, Buruburu. And until I finished class 8, moved to Rongai for another 10 or more years, maybe 14 more years to my age. So half my life was in Eastlands, half my life in Rongai. Yeah, kahamia Eastlands, tukahamia Rongai. Nikaenda high school in Moi Forces Academy hapo Juja. After kumaliza, joined university, Nairobi University, not to study music. Nilienda kustudy environmental management, which is nilikuwa watu wa Wangari Maathai. Finished in 2019. Yeah, nikarudi try kufanya masters, but nikaleme. It was a bit hard. Dropped out. Pursued my career into aviation. I had a passion for aviation. Nikarudi shule, nikafanya aviation, a course called flight dispatching. Nikamaliza. After kumaliza, change my career again. Nikaingia into music. And that is where I am as a music teacher now as we speak.
So ulianza kutu departure this other side of music. You're flying us away to music. Wow, amazing. So during your growth in the different spaces that you've mentioned, primary, secondary, I wish to know, were you indulged in music at that point?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what did you play? And how many instruments do you play?
Okay, so interesting. My first encounter with music was when I was in class 6. In class 6, no, I think I was hearing music like around me with my parents, because my parents they had a ministry. The ministry is called New Jerusalem Sounds. They would come at home and have keshas every Friday night. They will just put instruments together, sing all night. And you see, as kids, when you're exposed to that, of course, subconsciously, you download all that inaingia too. My first encounter was in class 6. There's a song I had na nilikuwa naipenda sana. Imagine Me by Kirk Franklin. Na nilikuwa sikia that piano vile inacheza, niko this song I need to learn it. So my dad used to come with keyboard from church, anakuja nayo home. So one day nikajaribu tu, nikasema you know what, acha nijaribu. And like it was by ear, literally by ear, ile following din, 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 like literally followed like that. Nikafanya hivyo, nikafanya two lines, and just like that was the one song I knew how to play for like for kutoka class 6, class 7, class 8, form 1. I knew that one song on the piano. Play the piano. Nakuja nang'ara na hiyo part. Hiyo kako kapati kadogo. Until when I reached form 2, okay, something I haven't said, I transferred schools. I was in Machakos school first. Form 1 nika transfer nikaenda Moi Forces. When I went to Moi Forces nikapata they had music, but I didn't do music. But they had a grand piano in the music room. So nilikuwa naenda na practice that one song I know. Naenda tu na practice all over again. Then I tried to change the key. Najua like I know all these keys cannot be there for no good reason. All the blacks, so I tried to do the same piece on different keys. Then ended up also playing hata nikaventure. Sasa unajua high school, sasa lazima unajua the latest songs zenye zinabamba watu. Time ya funky watu wakikuja wanakuja niko na song. Nikaingia into the likes of akina John Legend, all those songs zenye zilikuwa zimeshika hiyo time. Na pia that time pia go nikafika form 4, around form 3 form 4 also got interested in the guitar. Nikapata like I knew like nilioneshwa two chords or 3 chords, nikasema lazima nijifunze hii guitar pia, because now I knew chords from the piano, I just translated them to the guitar. So hivyo ndo nikaingia kwa guitar pia, nikang'ang'ana mpaka nikashika guitar that is in form 4. And also ventured vile nilifika around second year nikaventure into also bass guitar. Nikasema acha pia nijue bass guitar, because una translate too. So instruments, as you have asked, I can play 5 instruments. I can play piano, acoustic guitar, bass guitar, the ukulele, and recorder. Yes. Ile ilianza kujifunza juzi, but inaingia.
Amazing. Tukita multi-talented. Nilisahau hiyo intro, mtarudisha nyuma producer. Multi-talented. But it's an amazing. So we just want to break down, since we've at least conceptualized where the musical journey began. So we want to venture you in the different aspects that you are. So we're going to dive into the different aspects of music, as a musician, as a director, as a songwriter, and pertaining the different aspects that you've the bands that you've played with. So as a songwriter, when did you start writing music?
Wow. Songwriting. Oh gosh. Well, so I started writing. The one time I feel I started writing like seriously is last year. Before that nilikuwa naweza andika one line na kwama naachia hapo nasema
natafuta bridge kesho.
Leo bridge hadi wa leo niko na line through. But I've only written one song only, and this came as a challenge because we had a concert coming up with Grace Collective. We were all bringing our heads together to come up with original songs, whatnot. And I started last year. It's a melody that came to my heart. Tulikuwa tu siku moja prakwa after imeisha. Don't know what I was thinking. I feel too melodies too came to my spirit, and I could hear all these beautiful ninis playing in my mind. So nikachukua keyboard nikaicheza nikairecord. Nikasema hii song lazima nitaandika. Sijui nitasema nini but lazima nitaandika. So that's how. So I have not ventured. I feel it's a new space that has opened up for me to write a song. Hopefully in the near future more songs zitakuja. But so far, yes, I started last year. I am a baby in
you're a baby, but you have a song out.
Not inatokea soon, but yeah.
So maybe I wanted to know, okay, you told me about, I wanted to know what was the inspiration behind it?
Behind the song?
The song, yes.
The inspiration behind the song, it's the inspiration behind the song is like my salvation journey, because I didn't know how to explain to people what it means or how it felt like to be saved, because this is a foreign concept for the Gentiles, or rather but anyone who is not in Christ is a Gentile. So I was thinking of a song, how do I express yes that, and put it in writing and in melodies to explain that experience, and also as an encouragement for those who have not as an encouragement for those who are in Christ and are like seeking encouragement in the faith, to continue in the faith. That's where the inspiration came from. And of course I had to consult those who were before me to ask, unasikiaje verse, unasikiaje nini, but all together na feel 90% God came through for the 90%. Juu mimi nilikuwa tu naandika, but nikipea ni najishuku mimi niko ndo imekaa, but mtu wako hizo ni poa mimi niko uko sure siko sure. So na feel the inspiration for sure came from that salvation story. Na for sure God for sure put the words in my heart.
Wow. Such an amazing journey. So it means that song people should watch it out, because it definitely speaks out. The expression of salvation. So also maybe to move on as a director, because I am aware you have directed so many music that we might not even know all of them. But you as a director, what are the key points you consider? Or what are the key points you can say as a director in your points? I have noted over time being a director, isn't it? And I realize any other director or any other person who is viewing this and needs to be a director, aku anajua 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hata kama ni 1 million.
So the first major directing I did was for a production for the New Jerusalem Sounds. We had a recording for 6 songs. So for the context of this group, I am born AIC. so mi ni AIC damu ile kabisa ile
tukikata AIC inatoka.
So I was brought up with choirs. So growing up nilikuwa nasikiza songs za Tanzania hizi choirs akina Neema gospel before anze kucheza all this fancy music, hizo enzi za tene. So those are the music I grew up with. So like music, most of also my musicality came from choirs, and all the knowledge of music came from choirs. So tulikuwa tuna hiyo kudance, kuimba nini. So in this choir we usually sang. So it started with we were singing in the studio, putting the song in a flash disk, tunaicheza, tuna dance too, like tuna mime everything. Then it came time tuna program music, tunaweka kwa flash disk, ina play, watu wanaimba na mic tu, mnaimba tu na mic live hivyo but with playback. Then now this was a challenge because kwa tuna try kutoka from that ile manze, you can see what akina Neema gospel are doing nini. I wanted to also do that, make the whole shift. So for that whole shift, of course it came with challenges because number one, it's trying to change the perspective of, by the way, singing with playback, the experience is different with singing with live music. So it was to change the songs, to change the songs, because the songs already have a structure, but zimechezwa in like music ya kitambo. So we try modernize the song and we make it modern and also to stick with the same structure, because the people who are dancing have to follow the structure. So that came with a challenge of, as an MD, think of how you'll change the whole song,
the whole thing,
reproduce the whole,
but still maintain the content.
Maintain the content of the nini. It was a challenge. But we hacked it. Before we did the production, we did a few live events, like two or three live events we played. Now each time tuna play, of course, the reception was really amazing. Watu wanaona wa. So kwa a choir can sing with a whole band and everything, it has sound power. So now came the production. Now we had to sit down, rearrange the music. Also now as an MD, what you are trying to consider is, number one, unaona ukifanya production kayo utaki kufunza, like ukisema sasa unaanza kufunza watu, unaweza you are working with timelines,
utachoka hata before ufike hata uanze. True. So
of course kama band, of course I had to bring people who are understanding what I'm saying. So of course I had to call my friends who we have played with together. So as an MD, you need people you already have that chemistry with, you understand each other. Ukiangalia mtu hivi na macho anaelewa, haya shika meja 7 na tu hujamwambia. So you so I had to call friends like that. And also sasa vocals also, hiyo pia had the challenge of changing the vocals also, to try put all these weird harmonies that blend in together. Also that took a bit of time, but it worked because of course an MD, you need patience, you need people you have worked with before, because it needs a rapport. As an MD, you also need what else? Of course you need musical knowledge, because pia it's a challenge, because uka music kama hiyo umewekewa mbele yako, we change, pia lazima ukwe
at least unaelewa what you want to change. You understand the musicality bit.
Yes, you understand the musicality.
Nikisema tuna change tunaenda huko, nikisema hii ni nini. Yeah, true.
Alafu ability ya kubebana, like kubebana, ukiona unapima, ukiona another, this is not New Jerusalem, but generally unabebana, ukiona maybe drama na sleki, una given the context uko okay, saa drama haya, saa tufanye hivi, si upige hivi, tufanye hivi, okay, hiyo inakulemea, hebu to change basi tuone how we can all change to try to fit, because isikae mtu mmoja tunamwaibisha. So as an MD ni hiyo kubebana that mtu mmoja ayuko exposed in the whole context of the band. Mtu mmoja ayuko exposed ataka ule anachoma, ule amefunga, ule anachoma, ikainika one solid thing. Kuna swali sijajibu.
Umejibu.
Okay,
umejibu sana, ndio unanileta kwa hiyo kwa swali ya pili.
Yeah.
You told me about you reached out to people who you had already known they can sync into producing the music. And what are those attributes that you looked in them? Because I believe you might have even 20 musicians, but you say for this specific assignment, I feel like these 5 will work for me. Okay. Maybe how do you come about with a team?
So number one, I think this the general friendship. Kuna tu general friendship ya bedhe ni best yangu. Na there's something about a friendship on a chemistry level that enhances the music when you go play sasa kwa grau. Because if you guys are friends, amuogopi, like if you are a friend, like utamwambia we unachoma, hii ni kodi gani unacheza. But true. If ni mtu amjazoeana utakuwa unacheza poa,
kupiga macho
basi unaona au msaidie.
Yeah, true. I believe.
So general friendship na feel ina open your space ya kucorrectiana. Namwambia we hii kodi achana na hii kodi, cheza hii ama cheza hii bass hivi, cheza hivi. So na feel general friendship is of course a key factor. Number 2, of course, pia if you have played together somewhere again, of course you know how this person plays na mudule mnaelewana. Na kaa amjecheza pamoja mutakuja kuwa na nikaa lazima mkuje mpimane, like ujue okay umse akwaje before. So unaona hiyo inakuja na feelings of anxiety, feelings na if those feelings are there, of course you will not, utakuwa tu amtakuwa na chemistry, itakuwa umekuja hapo ufungi ufanye kazi yako but muende tu home kila mtu. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 is of course kuna watu wengine pia unaona. Point number 3 ni their level of musicianship.
Yeah. How they have grown, where they are at.
Yeah.
How, as you listen and skip, okay.
So of course when you see people like that, you want them to contribute to whatever project you are doing. And that when you see that that aspect too in itself is you want to this person to bring them in, also want to grow with them, and unataka pia learn from them as much as you are teaching them. Pia unataka if you are in a space where when unafunza kila mtu, like utachoka, but if nyi wote mnashapeniana na all your musicianship, mutajengana na mtakuwa sawa. And I think that's a point
in a nutshell.
In a nutshell it is those 3 things.
That brings me about the next question, which is how do you settle scores with bandits in terms of maybe sometimes too umewambia vitu msee anamwatoa cheze tu vile anataka despite the best yako. How do you settle scores? Ama wewe utamwambia tu approach buda buda cheza vile inafaa bana, acha mchezo. And then you also understand that these are different people with different personalities, different how they deal with things. How do you settle scores? Even maybe not you, but even maybe among the people you choose. Unaona wanagwaruzana. How are you able to settle scores? Because at the end of the day, I believe we'll need a synergy together to produce an output.
How it comes back to the friendship. Because of course in my musicianship tumekosana na watu wengi, but watu wote tumekosana ni ile tunarudi inakuanga tu we nini then mnarudiana. It's because kuna tu ile level of trust we tumekosana, lakini you're not doing it out of malice, you're not doing it out of like sabotage, you want to sabotage. It's genuinely sometimes hapo ndo skill yake imefika or something, or hamjelewana because mko na different views of how maybe that music should sound. Na in such scenarios, of course, one person has to jiteremsha chini. It's the basic how Christ tu anasema, like love one another with like how you would love your neighbors will love. Yes. So basic principle like that, of course, pia applying mkicheza in such places pamoja. So mkikosana mmoja anajiteremsha anasema you know what, ni sawa. Ni sawa na ni ile sawa si ile sawa ya umerusha mkono. Ni ile sawa ya bedhe unaweza kuona make sense na mimi labda ndo misielewi. Ni sawa. So kuna such times maybe MD ameweka mguu chini anasema tunacheza hii kitu. Ni hivi ndo tunacheza. Na unasema ni sawa, unanyenyekea unasema ni sawa, ama pia mimi nimekuwa in that on the side of me ndo naambia watu bedhi hii kitu ndo tunafaa tucheze hivi. But I kwa na feeling mkikosana kwa band ndo mnakuwa more closer kwa band. Like niko na best yangu anaitwa Clinton the drummer. The first times nilikuwa nacheza he was calling me out. Alikuwa unacheza nini? Nini? Baka Prako nasimama anasema haya tuache. Wewe unacheza nini? Namwambia nini? Mbona unasimamisha Prako? Of course na feel frustrated but now looking back he's one of my good friends because he was not afraid to say it as it is. Na in that sense it helped me grow as a musician. And na feeling musicians when you're nakosana, especially in context of music, mdo mnajelingi even more. It's a healthy thing for it to happen, for you guys to grow. So when it happens, ikikosa kufanyika ni sawa msitafute, but ikifanyika wacha isonge. It's not a bad thing in itself.
Some of the challenges maybe you face as a director in terms of handling a team, and maybe that brings about what are the attributes you as a director you love in terms of your team. Kuna expectations. Yes, nimeweka kwa team. Some of the things I expect, maybe manage 1, 2, 3, manage time. What are those attributes that you do? You ensure that they are very grounded on your team in terms of understanding that this is the vision I'm having, but these are the ground rules we need to operate into. Because I believe pia tukisema kila mtu akae maisha yake, at the end of the day mtu akuja Prako 3, mwingine akuja 7, mwingine akuja 8, and then you're not in hold of whatever you're supposed to do. It becomes a problem.
Yeah. One of the attributes, maybe before I give the attributes I can give the background, is Juicy we did I was honored to be an MD at Grace Collective's FSO for seasons off. This was season 5. So when I was the MD there, na Grace Collective inakuanga anything goes, like whatever idea, however crazy it is, let's put it on the table, let's do it. So one of the attributes I loved when I was there is number 1 is the open reception to it. Like everyone put their walls down in terms of si lazima ufikirie music hivi in this direction all the time. Everyone put their walls down. You trust me as an MD. Nikikwambia tufanye hivi unasema sawa. Like hiyo tu the attribute of listening and putting your walls down. Dile when isikize tu joe trust your MD, trust whatever. So that's one of them. Yeah, the trust. Number 2 is for sure vile umesema tu timekeeping. Watu wako diligent. Of course Prako tumesema tunafika hii time, kama ni studio unapata studio tulisema ni 6, na unajua studio ikishafika masaa zake ikishafunga ni hivyo. So of course to ile personal discipline. Number 3 ni personal discipline of practicing whatever you have learned at home it's a very nice culture to adopt, because of course if everyone does their parts at home, mukipatana together, muno move on to the next thing, because everyone already knows whatever they need to be doing. Another attribute is musicianship, like coming back to the musicianship, like watu wamefunga watu wamefunga, because if watu wamefunga amuspend like ufungi is directly proportional to the time that you will take practicing. So if more skills, like people are more skilled in whatever you're doing, the more less time you will spend, now the more mutanini. And the other thing, friendship. Friendship is linked to trust and everything. But I feel hizo vitu tatu, trust, unasema ya pili ni trust, musicianship na time keep, discipline, personal discipline for practicing at home na pia coming on time. Hizo ndo the most standing out attributes I can point out.
So umesikia ukitwa na Steve Kimwele, wewe discipline. Discipline. It's very clear and critical. Yeah. Wow, those are very good points that I believe musicians and everyone, even in the different spaces of creativity, people need to be ensure that they have such attributes within their scores. And also, maybe I wanted to know, how do you manage? Since you've mentioned you have a good skill set, and skill set means you also have a lot of creativity. A lot of creativity, we have people who are dominant, like sivyo nipo umeka seta mimi tujaribu yangu pia kidogo. Ama yeye idea nimekaa naye jana usiku nimeicheza wewe. Ukiniambia ingi kwa ngoma walai unanikosea. How do you balance hizo vitu in terms of pia despite you're directing, but you're still also allowing people to have their creative space also, maybe bring up ideas na vitu kaa hizo?
Mi sijafungia mtu, sifungiangi mtu. Sijaifungia mtu because of course hata mimi si ati whatever idea I'm giving, it's at 100% sure that it is working with this thing. So it is that open for correction, which what can I say? So I'm a human being for sure, and I'm open for correction. Now, if I think of that the same way, I also think of the others the same way of nisifungie mtu mimi niko, you're a musician, so unachezanga nini, of course you have ideas of whatever it is, so inakwanga tuweke kwa meza, inakwanga one basket in the middle. Let's put ikwangi nimetoka na basket yangu home ya ideas na nyinyi ndo mupokee hizo ideas. Ni come with an empty basket, let's put everything in. So ukichukua hii idea unaisikia uko kama ina work na hii sawa, kama una feel hai work, to get rid of the idea, tunachukua hiyo idea tunasema okay, now what if we change this idea just a bit. The core structure of the idea doesn't change. Kidogo tu ndo if it with the context of whatever we are trying to achieve. So for sure it's an open space. Na feel it's whatever, hata mkienda hata job, na feel it's everywhere. Iko everywhere. True. If mko job na boss ndo anawaambia everything to do,
itakuwa tricky.
But if everyone is contributing, we all learn from each other.
Kabisa.
So it applies everywhere.
So in your musicianship, do you believe you've grown musically by ear or by theory or by you putting in too much? Kwa sababu kuna watu grow musically by ear, literally listening ana inhale tu inaendelea. Kuna mtu lazima ende theory, ende asome hizo shit codes nini ndio anza kubase the musicianship. So out of that ndio grow somewhere kama ana major on notes and anza hii ni flats hizi ni nini. How do you grow? How was your experience?
My experience. So I grew up for sure. Number one, I didn't learn music. That's na feelingi Wakenya wengi wako hapo pia, especially hii circular space. Most people wanakuanga walisikia by ear. So I think I followed the same by ear when I was growing up. Nikacheza by ear, and every other instrument I've learned is by ear. My first interaction with theory was like, okay, most of the music nilikuwa na learn was YouTube University. Na you learn more by observing rather than kwa class reading. Hata whatever language, hata like thinking of music is like a language. Ukicompare language yenye umekuwa ukisoma kwa class na kuna mtu wako huko nje anaishi na hao watu na anaongea hiyo language every day, for sure the person who is out there will be better. My experience was that I was on ground. I was listening and I was trying to speak it while listening. Na that's how I got to where I was. Na my interaction with theory was nilianza kujifunza nilianza kufeel okay, sasa if one day I would like to be a music teacher, sina papers, how would I go about it? So of course nikatry kujirusha hapo. Theory ni ngumu. Si ngumu sana, but
it needs a lot of
it needs inataka concentration mob sana, especially sight reading. But I feel where I have reached, I've been learning the theory from backwards. Nilianza na practicals, sasa narudi backwards na theory. Sa pole tu. But of course I hear and I think I believe that mwenye amefanya by ear of course has a better advantage to whoever anasikiza. Unaweza mcheze immediately compared na mtu amezoea piece. If piece imetolewa kuisha. But na feel they are the same thing. Theory and on ground, they are the same thing. Ni vile tu moja is on a paper, ingine ni practicals, but they complement each other. Na whoever has done both has ako mbele, especially mwenye alianza ear akarudi nyuma sight reading, ako mbele sana. Tutafika.
Sasa nikikupea ngoma, unaweza ni break down a 3-minute song. How fast can you break down the song?
Inategemea unataka nini break iwe.
Chords in terms of numbers tu. Niambie tu 1 7 nini major 7 rabaraba zizi.
Very fast.
I believe those are the key things that even those people who play in bands look for. They give you break it down for me. Wewe amechukua time mob na manisha pia. There is a lot of that needs to be done for them to be able to conceptualize.
For sure I can. Of course with years of
how many years of experience so far?
Watch and break down music as a general. Toka grades nikiwa class 6 grades up to now.
Some good number of years.
Hiyo ni 26 27 years.
27 years.
Hiyo ni 27 years of. Sasa hiyo ni the first exposure. Kuplay in a band is since 2015.
That's around 10 years.
That's around 10 years. Because before 2015 sikuwa nimewahi cheza in a band. So playing in a band 2015. So ni 27 years general music playing in a band. 10 years. Yes.
How was your adaptability from being a solo point of musician to a band? How did you feel? How was your transition? How did you feel it? Ulisikia ilikuwa easy ama ilikuwa unajua sasa umezoea solo? Me for example I remember when I used to play kitambo. Mimi nilikuwa one man band. Yani wewe keyboard umeka drums, huku umeka bass kwa left, huku ni guitar. So ukianza kunileta tena kwa setting yenyewe unaniambia, "We boss, hii bass unacheza left funga. Kuna bass zako hapo. Hii guitar acha nayo. Hizo tayari unacheza chords. Unajua chords. Labda sijui chords sababu na nimeiva hizo ma guitar on the other side. So how did you feel the adaptability in terms of changing from a solo to a band it now?
The first time tuliekwa kwa band tulichoma sana. I was exposed in kwanza Deliverance Umoja. They had a program called Dulos. Hii ni excaded, like ukimaliza form 4 by the time ujifigure out uingie kampo, that ka period nikaingia hapo. Tukapata wako na program ya musicians. Sasa nika older musicians wanakana younger musicians, watu wa piano mnaekwa pale, watu nini. Yes, tukaekwa pamoja. Sasa tukasema haya, tunataka kucheza sijui wimbo, I think ni All Things Are Working For My Good, kitu kaa hiyo.
Yeah, Travis ama
I think hiyo ilikuwa one of hizo songs za hizo time. Tumewekwa main service. Sisi hapo wote we are rookies. Bass guitar najua tu 1 4 5
1
mtu anacheza drum anafanya tu toms tu.
Bora zasikika du.
Tuliingizwa hapo tukaambiwa amwezi kwa tu mnachezanga solo lazima mcheze pamoja. Tukaingizwa hapo. Tukaingia tukachoma.
Expertise inakuwa excellent.
Nezo like nilipanic so much. Mpaka keys nikiangalia keyboard ninaona like nikaizo colors zikamix. Sioni ni nini inafinya. Mpaka na sauti tuko kigani bali tunacheza nini. Ikachomeka. So it was equal inaweza recovery.
Hizo zile service zenye mlimaliza kama mmeenda home. Pasi masikia amen. Hakuna mtu alibaki wa bar. I want to be them. Where are they? Walienda.
Yani itu but si walituencourage. Manze kazi poa. Tuko muna tudanganya. Acheni kutudanganya. Tuambie tu kweli tulichoma. But after hapo time because these guys ni tulikuwa na one of the people tulikuwa nao kwa hiyo band ni Makmula. Huyu mwenye tu mmoja tu. Tulikuwa tunacheza siku tulichoma tuna hapo tu. Akina we had my good friends. Kulikuwa na Isaac Kamau, kuna Ted Mudhoka, kuna Martin. Tulicheza wase kadhaa. Na wase sahii mali wamefika muziki like level ingine. So una feel it that chance of that ile kuexpose watu to depend ilitufungua akili sana.
Ile spike kitu mkaona yenyewe
hatuwezi chomanga tu hivi.
And for me I believe that is the beauty of going somewhere and not doing the right thing and then now realizing that kuna producer mmoja tulikuwa practice akafanya tukajua hapo tu. But I believe it always speaks now to you as a musician. Unajita mkutano I need to work. I really need to work.
Usipoambiwa umechoma as a musician how you'll never work. So it really helped.
So maybe we wanted to indulge in the conversation about bands. You've mentioned New Jerusalem and Grace Collective. Maybe I just want to know, when did you join these bands? Starting with New Jerusalem, and then now we go to Grace Collective and how you got into Grace Collective and all that.
New Jerusalem, I was born into it because ulijipata ndani because it's a ministry that was started by my dad. My dad and his siblings walikuwa wanafanya ministry mbaya. Walikuwa wanacheza muziki nini hizo in the 19 kidogo KBC pale wanatokea like walikuwa. Sasa that the whole group was called New Jerusalem Sounds. So it was a family ministry. So we were born to into it, and it went and morphed ikakuwa from a small ministry ikaenda ikiwa bigi, ika-expand, then ikakuja ikakuwa a choir based in AIC Jericho. So that's how nilijipata ndani, and that's how I think all my music ilitoka hapo. Ilitoka hapo kwa
ground breaking, hizo vitu zote
na ikanifungua hata juu hata sikuwa naimba. Hapo ndo nilijua pia kuimba.
Tutakuja hapo unasikia unaimba tu chini ya maji lakini mtu mubaya. Mtu mubaya.
So I was born into the ministry, and that's the first ministry I was exposed to, and that's so imagine as a child you are born into places where people are singing, a place where people are singing, people are praying, people are worshiping together, all those things. So for sure it chiseled my understanding of music, my understanding of faith, all those things. So even ndo nilipata New Jerusalem Grace Collective niliingia 2022 through my friend Ganda. For sure alikuwa hapa. Ganda alikuwa amenipasu sana. Kutoka 2020 ananiambia, "Steve, tunakuanga na ile band ya nini si come to nini." Namwambia, sawa, okay, nitapitia but wewe ananina." Yeah, but in 2022 there was for seasons of season 4 that was happening. Na the concert before ifanyike hapo nikaa tu approach akasema akani approach akaniambia Steve si no hata si yeye is a guy alikuwa anacheza keyboard in the nini na pia ni bassist anaitwa Meshak. He alifly akaenda Germany. So before he went to Germany he approached me akaniambia bro, si mimi naenda hakuna dunata space kwa ile ministry wanahitaji mse wa keyboards, always come through and like tu nini. Then in the same way to Ganda akaniongelesha na hivyo ndio nikajipata nimejoin. So nikajoin 2022. It's been 3 years now. Na pia muziki yangu pia hapo I think you grow hapo sana. And of course naweza sema church kama kuplay church. So tuliite tu band because pia mamlaka nini minister in mamlaka. Pia hapo ilinifungua akili sana juu nilijoin 2020 time ya COVID na tulikuwa nacheza every single Sunday. Like hiyo time hakukuwa na rotation, back to back ni songs ngumu non-stop.
Na imagine wiki sasa imekuwa occupied then. Juu hii wiki niko na songs list ingine. Next week niko
hivyo. Na ni time ya COVID umekaa tu home. So uko na tu keyboard tizi sato tizi. Kwa tunajiita COVID band. COVID ikaisha tukadindi.
It's been a journey,
it's been a journey, yes.
That's why you want to also tell our viewers it's always a process. Today you still Steve hapo anacheza uko ni poa ajanza jana pia it's a process. It has taken time to build the musical capabilities and all that. So maybe that spearheads me to the next question. Who was the musical icons who maybe you listened to? You might have listened because I believe music changes with seasons. Yes. Who you listened to during those times or who have contributed much in your career as a musician?
So the first ever person was Kirk Franklin because of the first song I've ever played on the piano. So of course nikakuja kupenda Kirk Franklin and his approach to music too. Vile alikuwa anapanga pia harmonies. After that ikaenda ikigrow. I ventured into South African songs sana. Zilikuwa because unajua choirs za Nairobi na Tanzania zinaimba based on South African patterns and rhythms. So nikapenda South African songs. Nikakimbia nikasikiza nilikuwa nasikiza sana Hugh Masakela and Miriam Makeba. Nilikuwa nawasikiza sana. So ilikuwa it really shaped my love for South African songs. So hata nikisikia tu song ya South African nacheza mali nasikia inagusa roho sana. As time went by sasa juu umeanza kukua wafungi sasa umeanza kulearn deep things za music piano. Nikaanza kuventure into akina Corey Henry Corey Henry hii band yenye nachezanga inaitwa Funk Apostles hiyo. Na pia hii yenye alipiga solo riff sijui inaitwanga aje hiyo song Lingas Snacky Papi. Yes, that whole band. nikapata nimeventure into them as time sasa ikaenda ikimof nikaingia sasa akina Jacob Collier na his many harmonies and sahi where I am at nasikiza nani na feel bado Jacob Collier akina Jordan B. Welch how she sings and vile bandi na panga muziki so nafi ni seasons but watu wameinfluence sana is the South African artists of course akina Korean akina Jacob Collier na pia but I can pia pianist wa huku pia nimewasikiza akina Steve Mwanzia akina Lucas akina George Nyoro can really play.
George Nyoro is a legend.
The guy can really play. And a few pianists here and there tumepatana tunachochana tuna nini inwana so there's a lot of another artist Richard Bona the bassist for Zimbabwe. So those are all the artists na feel wame and I feel the artists I'm more inclined to listen to are the artists who are instrumentalists. So because they arrange their songs in a way instrumentalist atakuwa it's more for like you instrumentalist usikize than ini like it's like a work of art hao ndo nimekuwa more inclined to listen to. Yes.
I believe you have an advantage in terms of playing music and also being able to sing, because for me naonanga inakupatianga at least you know what kind of unajua kitu ya expect na unajua pia unaweza caution mtu wapi asi overdo nini asifanye runs mingi ama asifanye nini in such kind of sets, which is a good and another advantage in terms of musicianship. And maybe wish to know if are you teaching music currently, and if you are teaching how open are you to even the viewers who may want to have an experience of the classes and grow into the different dimensions that they wish to grow musically? And if you're doing that also additionally, which instruments and are you able to coach on?
So currently now I'm a music teacher. I work at Jawabu School and I teach children. The age set I work with in my day-to-day is children. So you can imagine if I can break it down for children, of course you adult utaelewa tu. So I teach piano and guitar at school. Piano, guitar, the ukulele and the recorder. All hizo ndo ninafunza. Na I teach, that's by the what I do from day to day. That's my day to day. And kama ninafunza vile nimesema vile kana nafunza watoto adults mtaelewa. Na kama MD of course kuna patience, tunavumiliana tu. Unataka kulearn piano, tutaka chini na wewe mpaka ushike. That's what I do day to day.
What was the experience, or how is the experience in terms of you teaching children? How do you feel, as in what are the experiences you get during the day to day that you feel even maybe someone needs to know? Because it also brings about when someone maybe even is teaching a child any other thing apart from music, maybe those are some of the things that you can be able to share in terms of the attributes. One of them you said is patience. Such kind of
the experience I've had with teaching children is children are like nika a young tree yenye haijabendiwa kidogo, na saa zingine think we underestimate children because unaona ni mtoto ni nini ashikanishi. But there's a girl I teach. She's a piano student I teach. Na she blows my mind because I decided to teach her like how I understood music. Like for example, I can give an example. On the piano, how I view the piano is like the piano has shapes. has like the scales have certain shapes that you see with your eyes. Na hizo shapes zinakuanga triangle, like zinakuanga many shapes because all scales ni 12 in all instruments. There are 12 scales. If hizo shapes ukizifuata ukiangalia na macho, it makes your work easier to know the shapes by just looking at the piano instead of atibu na count do re mi. Hii ni concept nilitry kufunza an adult na hailikataa kuingia kabisa. Huyu ni mtoto wako 7 years old na alishikanisha tu hivi. So sahi namwambia ebu nicheze A flat haraka hapo. Anaangalia tu hivi na hakuwa anajua piano nothing. So hiyo mi ili mind. So nika imagine if me this kama hizo shapes nililearn later into my adulthood, this is a child ako grade 7 ashajua hizo shapes, how much more akifika huko mbele hata so children suck in a lot of information. So siogopangi kufunza kuenda direct to the hard stuff because niko kama mtoto anaelewa, we adult pia unaweza elewa, but unajua pia adult ushafinywa maisha imekugonga akili imejaa,
mambo ni mengi unataka kubalance life na nini
unafikiria pesa. Mtoto anafikiria tu anapenda the parents, shule, kucheza nini, but na feel it's very possible. So children are amazing. They feel they get the concepts. Na imagine raising a whole generation of kids. Na hao ni watoto wanafunzwa theory in school. The theory in school, but nikifika home namfunza by ear. So you can imagine how akifika huko mbele how much he will grow and atakuwa very very refined, very nini. So it's a generation of musicians I'm hoping to see that they will in the future. Yes. Yeah.
So, that's indeed an amazing journey to just realize how you're able to ensure that these people get these things. Hata nilikuwa nafikiria ile methali nasemanga samaki mkunje angali sijui. I can imagine how we could kama tungejua hizi vitu mapema as in tukiwa toi ile time umeanza kuelewa like the concept ukiwa bado
ukiwa mtoi. Interestingly hizi muziki zilikuwa zinapigwa kitambo. Jungi in our church like huko AIC where I grew up walikuwa napiga muziki akina Kak Franklin akina walikuwa nazipiga, but na feel where we lacked is there was no generational like kulikuwa tuna generational gap. Watu wanapiga muziki but it was never passed down. So na feel if all of us sasa now we learned from that na sisi whatever we are doing in what we are doing now, if we passed it down to the next generation, imagine how much more the music
scene will be. I believe music is a broad I believe everyone has an opportunity. As in music ni ile kitu huwezi kula ukamaliza peke yako hata kama it's quite broad and it's also time taking in terms of for you to grow out to be like for example where you are at. It of course it has taken you too much time and experience to just be able to do that. And maybe I wish to know how much time do you invest in your practices for you to just be able to remain pale. Because I believe in ile ukiacha pia itakuacha. Ni kama it's like a relationship type.
Of late nimefail kidogo. Sasa practice as I ought to. Because responsibilities zinakuja zina nini, but ideally on a good week where I should be practicing, ideally it should be almost 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. Niko tu hapo na piano niko nini like na set aside an hour or an hour and a half na kachini na whatever nililearn inakuanga two things. Unajua kuna kupractice ya emergency ya kesho numbers ni na kuna kupractice
intentional yako tu
unataka so mi uangalia maybe especially in the social media space unakuanga na so much content una scroll unaona tu mtu amepost tu a piece of kitu tu anasema unataka kuplay hivi fanya hivi so I save that go maybe when I get the time sit down in the piano open break it down try to apply it somewhere
it's a bit of borrowing hapa
borrowing yes
wake pale it makes sense to with
time yes.
As earlier you mentioned that YouTube has been your good teacher over time it means most of the things you've scaled down from YouTube.
Yes. Most of the things YouTube and Instagram but mostly YouTube.
But the advantage you had is the musical ear. So imagine if you could not have that.
Hapo
ningekuwa ngumu. Ungepanda mlima kabisa.
Nilikuwa sikiza YouTube a guy called Warren McPherson. Ni American pianist. YouTube anapost vitu zake tu hapo safi. Kwambia ukitaka fanya hivi na anaanza basics. So niliingia tu hapo nikakaa na nikasema haya tuende basi hivyo yeah.
Maybe for that viewer maybe who wishes to maybe bring the child to the school. I believe you said it's Jawabu. Where is it located?
It's located at Ngong Road, kati ya Ngong Road na Dagoreti mahali uko ndani.
But I believe they can just spin it itawapeleka mpaka to the
iko kuna tu mahali pin but inakuanga shule imejaa inataka ubuku very
nini
kwangi
on socials wako pia
socials yes patikana
nice amazing. And maybe that musician who wants Steve Ondi akwe director wake what are the things that they should consider and how can they get in touch with you if they are in a position to
whoever wants to get in touch with me of course nimeshare my media handles of course I'm on Instagram Steve Kimwele. I am on Facebook not as much. WhatsApp my number inaweza post mahali but I think I've said all the attributes of something I'm looking for but for sure it's openness and are you thinking about music in a different way not the conventional
not what you think should be
are you open to
open out
yes if you are open let's try something new
Wow, it's been an amazing conversation just to get to know unajua mtu anza kuona tu uko unacheza si amekuja tu 2022 ndio huyu hapa anacheza leo but listening to this they are able to know it has been milestone after milestone which is indeed a great encouragement even to the viewers who are watching us and want to be able to play. Last question, what is your view on people who are upcoming or people who are trying still to master the craft according to your experience? What are some of the points that they need to know? And maybe a word of encouragement to them.
This is very cliche but don't give up.
Keep at it.
Give up because lazima safari inakuanga the safari is the journey is not the destination, it's the things that you learn. The slow steps that you take you will for sure get there and you never know when you have reached there. Unasikia msena unacheza mimi unasema bado it's always a continual thing but it's like a language. Sit with people who speak the language well. If you sit with people who speak to the same degree as you hamta uta grow but sit with people who are speaking that language, that high language, hata wewe utapata umeanza kuongea language tu one or another tu so it's that sit with people and don't give up. Na pia intentionality, if this is your craft and this is what you really want to do and jirush out there, jiweke out there
Amazing conversations. Maybe I just want to ask the last question about musician. Nilisikia mkuna mahali ulipiga vocals zikalia. Yeah, there's somewhere you sang. One of my directors told me alikusikia mahali uliimba pale. Was it him or him? Was it it was on a service, I think so.
Kani service tulikuwa tunaimba. Ilikuwa it was a men's day. So ni volunteer kaambiwa niimbe alto. Shikilia alto but kuimba naweza shikilia hiyo background tu unapata ukiekwa hapo huwezi shindwa. So sidhani ni nzuri kazi zako.
Mimi najaribu.
But ukiekwa huwezi shindwa. Ukiekwa siwezi shindwa.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, so we thank you so much, Steve, for finding time to be on the pod. We appreciate your time, big time. Thank you for the stories and the journey. I believe someone needed to hear this to also get to move to a different level of musicianship. We appreciate you for your time. Thank you for the directors and everybody who is involved in the production. We appreciate your time and your contribution towards making it a success. Thank you once again, and we hope we invite you again. You will be able to come. Usitutupe. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time. Kudos.